Yo, yo, welcome to the show.
Yo YouTube, what is good? Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining us again. We didn't make any videos last week, but of course, good to see everyone again. And of course, I hope that y'all still appreciate the portfolio updates. We've seen some growth in the last few weeks, days, weeks, months, may I say. So I'm just here to kind of update y'all on my portfolio, my taxable, I should say. Haven't done a Roth IRA update, and I guess I should say that we do stuff like this for my taxable. Like I just go through my portfolio. Same with my Robinhood Roth IRA, which is like my not taxable, my retirement account. Both of them I do have in Robinhood. I do like separate videos on them though. Talk about dividends, investing, whatever. So if you're into that, like, subscribe, and you'll see the videos. So usually I go through the timestamps. We're sitting at $21,880, as y'all see right there. On the week, well, on the day, it's a Saturday morning. I don't know, but on the week we're up 1.26%, $271, 1.67 on the month. 3 months, 4.06% year to date, 8%, and 1 year we're up 13.34%. Almost, this is the only chart we're still red on. As soon as I'm break even, I'll show it, and then y'all can be like, oh, okay. Anywho, buying power is sitting at $773. A lot of that, of course, is just from me having sold out of VTI, slowly going into other positions, a little bit of options on the side. Definitely not my plan initially. I was just gonna sell VTI, hope that the markets dropped, buy directly into SPY, SPYG, as well as SCHD and QQQ. That didn't happen. The market still continued going up, didn't really pull back ever. And eventually I just like started a little bit of credit spreads on the side, and just putting into other positions that I think needed a little help as well. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's still being invested. I mean, options are risky for sure, but I feel like I'm managing my positions fine. I guess segueing into options, we have two over here. One's Ford, and I'm selling a Ford call based on the 100 shares I have, and I got a credit spread on the SPY expiring in 6 days at this point. Just hoping that SPY doesn't close above 587 next week, Friday, pretty much. Yeah, I've been doing credit spreads. Some of them expired yesterday, which is why y'all don't see them. But just small positions, managing them as I need to, and just longer dated expiries. I don't really do like same day or zero DTEs, but I might look at the opportunity and take like a next day one DTE risk or something. But I feel like the longer dated ones, it's just a less emotionally stressful experience. So I'm just trying that out. Let's go through the stocks and ETFs we have. We have SPY, 5.29 shares. I might be going blind. Um, let's change this to all-time return, I guess. Total return. Yeah, SPY is definitely the largest thing in the portfolio. Equity wise, return wise, just absolutely crazy. I got SCHD almost 67 shares, 10% up in that. QQQ, newer position to the portfolio. I started buying QQQ at like the peak, I swear. But of course, I've been dollar cost averaging in after that. Now we're up 2.25%. SPYG, 11.13 shares at the moment, up 16%. And that's like SPY, the 500 companies, but you take all the growth, and I made air quotes, the growth stocks or growth companies out and put them in a smaller basket. Of course, there's mathematical criteria that makes a company a growth company, but yeah, that's the idea. Next, we have Tesla. I should have mentioned that if y'all are new here, or maybe if you're old too, I used to have crypto, but I like 100 Doge coins, but I sold them. I just kind of hated having them in the portfolio, and I'm just like, it's a $16 loss. I don't really care. Yeah, forgot to mention that. Next, we have Tesla 4.21 shares, 4.2069 shares actually. Tesla is doing its thing. It's, again bouncing between like 200, 250. um yeah. Not the greatest reaction to their like robotaxi event earlier this week or last week or whenever, but I still think that they have major potential, future potential as a company. Of course, they're already starting to branch out into more than just like civilian cars, I guess, which I think is a good move. Even if it doesn't pick up now, like it is something that I feel will get traction in the future. They're doing their robots, which is still so creepy to me, but like Tesla is just such a futuristic company. I think it's worth being decently invested in. Amazon, we have 3.2 shares, around 8% up right now. Apple 4.4 shares, 47%. Microsoft 1.9 shares. Can't wait to get to 2 shares of that. And maybe I should buy into Microsoft some because it's probably close to $400 last price. Let's see. Microsoft 418. I like buying Microsoft when it's like low 400s because that's such a steal. Ooh. Next we got Realty Income, 14.3 shares, 1.19%. This is on the day, I think. So not super important. Chevron, we got 3.1 shares at the moment. Coke, next in our portfolio, 6.6 shares of General Mills. Ford, 100 shares, and like I said earlier, these are the 100 shares that are collateral for the call we sold. So if that expires, in the money, then I'll lose that. Uh, I don't mind losing Ford, honestly. It's just I know it's a stable enough company, and that dividend is just so good. But like Ford doesn't really grow like as nicely as you'd want it to. It's almost like a cyclical company in a sense. But it's not in that sector, is it? No. Um, we got Target next. 2.1 shares is what we have. JP Morgan Chase. We're over a share of Chase. Maybe that means it's time to turn off the recurring investment. McDonald's next on our list here, 1.4 shares. Everything that's under 1 share now, I really just want to see it over at least 2 shares. Of course, the first criterion that I really like breaking is getting at least every dividend paying company to pay me at least a dollar in payments. Like, I just want to build it up that much. Um, but now I want to get everything to at least 2 shares. Next, we have AbbVie, 1.57 shares of that. Viso, 1.7 shares. Pepsi, 3.5 shares. And Pepsi might be leaving the portfolio soon. Y'all might want to stay tuned for my video on Sunday where I talk about all the 3 stocks I'm going to be selling on Sunday. Or I guess on Monday. So, yeah, that might be worth staying tuned for. 3.5 shares of Pepsi. That's a kind of a spoiler. That might be going. Johnson and Johnson J&J, 2.65 shares at the moment. Smith and Wesson Brands, 22 shares right now. American Electric Power, we have 2.5 shares of that. Verizon, 7 shares. Stag, reach right here, 13 shares. Starbucks, at the moment we have 3.2 shares of Starbucks. Maine, we have 7.2 shares. Home Depot, wow. I hate myself so much for having Home Depot as such a good, solid company stock in my portfolio and selling it. Oh my gosh, what kind of decision was that? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I let's go to the history down here. Home Depot right now is trading at $415. Let's look at the chart. I don't even remember when I sold it. Knowing me though, I probably sold it somewhere like right here, like August 8th. But anywho, let's look at um when I sold Home Depot. I market sell 0.78 shares at 346 on August 13th. Look at that. I sold Home Depot right somewhere right there. And Home Depot at 350 and Home Depot is now at $418. That's just so hurtful. 346 is what I sold at. Oh my gosh. Definitely at a profit. At least I think, I hope. At this point, doesn't really matter. But I just had to buy back in. I know it's like it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow, but I'm buying back in at like almost what 60 $70 more than what I paid for it earlier. I was paying for it earlier. That's tough. But now I'm starting my composition. I'm going hard. I'm gonna get myself up to a share at least. Probably put some recurring investments on it for a little bit just to see what it does. Right now we're at 0.33 of a share, just a third of a share, and we're gonna keep going higher. Like Home Depot is such a strong company in its space. I looked at Lowe's, great dividends, great dividend growth, especially. Or let me say good dividends, but great dividend growth. But I still think Home Depot is the one to be invested in. Just so much more like capture of the space, in my opinion. And especially like with hurricanes and things like that, especially interest rates falling, like people might be more spendy. They're gonna start maybe more renovations. There's just a hurricane, like people in Florida, like things like that weigh into my decision. And just long term, I think it's a solid company. I don't really have any company that holds that space, but very happy to be adding slash re-adding Home Depot to the portfolio. All right. It's crazy though. Can't believe that. But anyways, it is what it is. It is what it is. Home Depot. So yeah, this is a very new position to the portfolio. Old, new, whatever. O'Reilly, the drip is the recurring investment is doing its thing. We have zero point 0.2 of a share right now. Pretty nice to see that. I think I buy. How much do I buy? $1.25 a day, and now we're at zero point 0.2 of a share. Costco zero point 0.7 shares right now. That will be changing soon. IAT 5 shares at the moment. SMH 1.34 shares, and then finally JEPQ 10 shares of JEPQ. JEPQ, you're probably like, why is JEPQ in his portfolio? This wasn't there before. Yeah, it wasn't. It's because I sold out of Horizon. Horizon was a company I bought into, or ETF I bought into, because of the dividends that it had. It's not performed as well as I would have liked for it to. And I mean, like the $500 I have in there, of course, the best thing to do is probably just to buy whatever fractional share of SPY it can buy, and just call it a day, call it a life. But I just can't let go of that. I mean, I want to get back the 12% yield I had. So that's gonna be like my $500. That's just dividend, fun, spend money, whatever. And I threw it into JEPQ. It was able to buy me like 10 shares of JEPQ, like $550 or whatever. And that's from having sold Horizon. And it's so nice that I feel so much lighter after selling Horizon. Not nervous at all having bought into JEPQ because it's historically been a performer. However short the history might be, still a performer. And I just hope to reap into those positive performances, let's say. It's got like a what, 12% yield, I think. Not too shabby, not at all. It's been, a good performer, like I said. So far, we've already made $2 in equity, like total return, I guess. And let's see how it goes. I was down 70 in Horizon. Let's see how long it takes until I'm up 70 or down more in JEPQ. If even if it falls, I know it won't fall at the rate that Horizon was falling. Cause Jesus Christ, like every day I lose $3 on Horizon, and I hate it. um, yeah, not gonna have the drip on. Just gonna keep it at a steady 10 shares and see what it does. If it falls, maybe I'll reconsider. But seems to be a pretty stable ETF over here. Highs of 56, lows of 50. I can take that. I think I can take that. Let's see the 5 years actually. Yeah, seems like it's growing. Of course, it could always come back down to the 40s. It could. It could. But let's see. Let's see. All right. That's the decision I made. I just really wanted to get out of Horizon, and I finally did that. So yeah, that's the last thing on the portfolio, though. Like on the list, ETF, JEPQ. And then that's just a screenshot or a capture of my recurring investments. I got SPY-G, SPY, SMH, SCHD, QQQ, O'Reilly, and JPM. And I'll be changing this around this weekend. Like I said, y'all definitely want to stay in tune for my Sunday video where I talk about the stocks and ETFs that I'll be buying and selling. Like I said, selling out of three. And you guys might want to know that. So, yeah. Um, let's go to this view over here just to see like a pie chart of everything. Sort this by equity. Um, SPY, of course, you can see the weightings, not the weightings, but the ordered list of the portfolio in terms of equity. SPY, SCHD, QQQ, Ford, and SPY-G. SPY-G is above Tesla by $14 now. We buy like what, $5 or $10 of this every day, something like that. So hopefully, it can make its way up into the top. I want it to be in the top four. So eventually, hopefully, maybe it will do that. Um, I love the weighting of this though. Like over 25% so far in my top three. My top three are SPY, STHD, and QQQ. Want to get SPY G in there, and I know there's a lot of like ETF overlap, but I mean it doesn't really bother me. Really, it's fine. And this just trying to figure out what's going on over here, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I know this small one is for sure Home Depot, so that's gonna get bumped up in the next week for sure. So far so good though. Really liking the portfolio. I'm still readjusting, of course, but it's growing slowly, but it's growing, and eventually we'll start growing more with the market. So, thank you guys so much for watching as usual. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.